y'all. Welcome to our end of the summer tour of the little cabin in the canyon. This is what we've been working on this year. We got here towards the middle of May and worked pretty hard through the end of July, and then we haven't hit it real hard since then. But I want to just give you a little update. We're not near finished. We've planned, Lord willing, to come back next summer and we'll try to do some more to it. But we got a good start, and we started with it absolutely filthy, hard to even describe the shape it was in. You almost have to see the before to appreciate the after, but we'll show you where we stand. Now, we're down here in Webb Canyon. If you look over this way, you'll see how the canyon runs on up this way. And you might say it was very providential that it was named Webb, but it wasn't after me. It was another family that lived about 2 more miles up the canyon here, Truesdale Webb. He was the first deputy sheriff in this area and kept the law down the road here in Hartville. It's about a half a mile further down the canyon behind me. What makes this so important is we've got a spring about 65 yards right down the hill here. You can get a look at the tub sitting down there with water coming in. In fact, the cattle were in here earlier this month, and that's their water supply. And then the last few mornings we've had deer down here getting a drink of water about 8 o'clock in the morning, just almost on the dot. Then another interesting thing is right out this way, about 50 yards or so, there is a field of what is called chert. It's where the Native Americans were chipping stone, making stone tools. So at one time or another, there was bound to have been a teepee set up right over there, because we've got the evidence of these chips that are in an area about the size of this cabin, scattered all over the place. And you'll find those every now and then, and that's sort of an indication of where things were happening, who knows how long ago. So anyway, that's where we are right now. I'll take you inside and we'll give you a look at what's going on in there.
For the second part of this video, Mark made those stairs that we're climbing up, besides putting these wooden ones on, and I'm going to take you into the kitchen and show where we cook our food out here. So come on and follow me. Okay. Jason and his dad and Mark put in these cabinets this summer, and we got them from a man and his 2 sons that were redoing a house and flipping it, and they wanted to get rid of the cabinets that were there, so we got them for a really good price, about $500 for all these cabinets. And we've still got one in another room that needs to be put up, but they really added to our kitchen space. And we got our coffee pot here now, which we are running off of the generator that's outside. So once you have your coffee, you're good. And then we have our little cook stove right here, and our sink that we put in. This is a table that came from Michael's family out there, and the black stove came from Michael's house that was out there. And and then we have this bear from the motel that I used to run in Thermopolis. So we have a nice little kitchen here, so if you need your coffee, come on.
Well, here we are in the living room area, and again, it's just sort of difficult to describe what this looked like when we started, but we had to come in here and pressure wash 3 times the entire house, and when we were spraying it, mud just coming down the sides of these walls. We'd have puddles of mud in the floor. That's how dirty it was. It's an amazing thing. The cabin is in as good shape as it is. We know the logs are well over 100 years old. According to the guy whose family first homesteaded this area, the cabin actually was back to our south several hundred yards originally by an old dairy that catered to Hartville and Sunrise back around 1900. But at one time they found this spring down here, and so they disassembled the cabin and rebuilt it here on this location. And that would have been about 1940 as best I can figure. The walls and wainscot that you see here were original, and once we got it cleaned up very, very nicely, as you can see. And so once we got it washed down, and the filth and all the smell, there was, in this room, I know it's hard to visualize, but there was hay stacked almost to the ceiling, loose hay that had been here for years. I know from talking to some of the older folks that were connected to this place that for at least half a century, this place was used basically as a barn. They had hay, cattle feed stored here. And so it's just amazing to me that it's in as good a shape as it is. But that hay attracted rats and mice, and they attracted rattlesnakes. And I have killed a number of rattlesnakes right around the perimeter of this house. So that's the shape it was in when we started. And once we got it clean, or at least halfway clean, and the smell a lot better, we were able to then go through and with kills and do the entire house with a coat of kills to try to seal things, cover stains, and seal the odors. And once that was done, then we had something we could start with. So we got paint and began to paint the entire interior. Let me give you a look at what else we had going on. Well, here we are in the main bedroom area, and if you look up, you can see something strange. There's no ceiling up there. All the ceiling in this back part of the house, because of a roof that was leaking at one point, was just caved in. Plywood hanging down everywhere. So what we did is we ripped down all the plywood back here and used some of the pieces we could salvage to patch places in the front part of the house. So we've got 2 rooms with a ceiling, 2 rooms with no ceiling. And that's going to be one of the projects for next year, is get a ceiling and try to insulate. There's no insulation anywhere. Of course, the logs that are almost 7 inches thick or so do a pretty good job of insulating the walls, but there's no insulation in the roof or ceiling or in the floor. So that needs to be addressed. That'll help us, I think, keep temperatures moderated. There's no heat, no cooling at all at this point. So whatever it is outside in the morning, it's pretty well that on the inside, and it can get chilly. This is also our temporary bathroom. The problem is water here. We don't have that much water, but we put in a compost toilet. We had just sort of a very crude one to start with. Then my daughter and her family turned thumbs down on that one. So we had to invest in a deluxe model. And this actually is amazing. It has done just great. And I don't know why we didn't do this a long time ago. Uses absolutely no water. We do have to service it every now and then. I don't want to go through all the details of that, but it's not all that bad compared to what we're having to do with our travel trailer. This is a piece of cake compared to that. Piece of cake's probably not the best terminology, but you get the picture. We've been very, very pleased with this. So this is sort of a temporary toilet, and it gives us opportunity to stay down here at nights, and it's worked out very well. The other thing is, you can see there's a vanity in here, and we actually have running water. Not a lot of running water, but this cabin has never had running water, and that was one of the first things we had to do in order to pressure wash this cabin. We had to get water. And so I have a tank, I'll show you that in a minute, sitting up on the hill that we fill from our spring down below. And that gives us a little bit of water pressure to furnish the cabin with water.
This is our room in the making. This is where we store different things. We have a bunk bed that is a double size, top and bottom, and different supplies that we have. This is, as I said, a room in the making. Next year, Mark and I are going to put in an inside shower and move our compost toilet to here and set up the bunk beds. And we have a storage closet in here where we store our cleaning supplies. And we have one cabinet and a sink in here that did have running water, but we don't have it right now. And we have one more cabinet to set up if we wanted to put that somewhere. So basically, it is a bare bones. It's got the ceiling off of it also, just like the other room. It was the room that had the most leaks. So we're going to have to replace some of the floorboards here next year. So we have some projects already in the thinking stage, planning stage.
So here we are back in the kitchen area, and as you can see, we've got it livable. We stay down here at night, almost every night if we can, unless there's something going on that we need to be back at our trailer. So we've gotten, as this gets nicer and nicer, we use it more and more, and it should be a nice place for people when they come to visit. But there's a few more things we've got to do. And so our plans for next year is to, first of all, redo this floor. As you can see, the floor in here is not in that bad a shape, but still, I think we could really make it look nice if we resand it and put a new finish on it. The floor in the back, as Paula mentioned, was damaged from the roof leaking, and in fact, if Mike hadn't put the metal roof over the top of this, that green metal roof that you see, that stopped the deterioration. And had that not happened, that was 25 years ago, and we would not been able to restore it, I don't think, because of so much problems from water. But we need to redo the floors, and then another plan, as we've already mentioned, is to put the ceiling in the back half of the house and new insulation, or some insulation. And then I would like to put in a solar energy with solar panels to give us electricity. That'll make all the difference in the world as far as the livability of this space. So those are sort of the big projects for next year. Also need to upgrade our water system. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but we'll work on that as well. So that's sort of where we stand at the moment. Well, here we are outside, and to give you a look at what's out here, we did get a generator. It's a Champion 3100 watt inverter generator with a remote start. I love it. I think it's one of the best purchases we made. And this is what we're running our interior appliances off: the coffee maker, the DVD player and TV that we'll watch a movie in the evening. It makes you feel a little more at home. And that has been worth its weight in gold. And the beauty is we can pick it up, take it back to Mississippi with us, and use it there if we need it. And then up the hill again, you can see the trailer with the tank. Right now, that's the way we get our water. We run down, we hook onto it with the truck, pull it down to the spring below, fill it, or put about 150 gallons in there, and then tow it back up to the hill and park it and hook on to the water hose. Got two 100-foot water hoses coming down to the back of the cabin here. Now, earlier in the summer, we had a shower tent right over here, and that was what our guests used to shower up. The only heat was from the water in the hose laying out in the sun, but that got very, very hot. And by my calculations, in 200 feet of 3/4 inch water hose, you got about 5 gallons of water that would just get almost steaming hot. So that worked very, very well. Unfortunately, by the end of the summer, the Wyoming wind had pretty much torn it to shreds. It is difficult to explain how the wind blows in this canyon. It just comes down here like a funnel. So we've got to, as we mentioned earlier, to solve that problem, and that's on the docket for next year. Another big project is to build a little bathroom with a toilet, with our compost toilet. We're going to stay with that, and then our shower and vanity cabinet in the corner of that room. That's the worst damage. So we've got our work cut out for us next year. But we've had a great summer. We just absolutely love it down here. So in the evening, so peaceful and quiet. And again, we have deer that come down and feed at the water, down or drink down there below. It's just been almost like a dream come true. We hike these canyons. We have about 500 acres to roam and explore. So this is pretty nice. We've had a great summer out here. So anyway, that's where we stand at the moment. And next year, if the Lord wills, we'll be back out here trying to finish up some of these additional projects, and we'll give a video at the end of that summer. And hopefully things will be even better.